All right, you guys, I am out here at the Dusty Lizard Death Valley event, October 2024, and I have got the opportunity to ride a brand new Kove FSE 450 Rally. I've got another guy, Sean, with me as well. He's riding the same thing, and we're going to get our first impressions of these bikes. So we're just heading out of the Spicer Ranch here, and we've got a couple trails we're going to link up and go to the northwest side of Beatty, Nevada. Just do some easy stuff and get a very first impression. So stay tuned and hear what we think about it. I'm coming off of a 2024 KTM 500 EXCF, and I'm going to kind of compare it to that. Obviously, it's not apples to apples, even close. My bike's relatively stock. I've got an ECU on it and exhaust. Other than that, it's pretty much in its pure enduro form. But why would I compare the two? Because as far as I can see, and the research I have done, there's a lot of people that kind of have overlapping interests in these bikes. So I think it's a great way to just kind of look at them and say, okay, how do these bikes work in the same area? How are they totally different? Which one might somebody prefer? Which one is better for you? This is not going to be an all-inclusive, in-depth review. I'm just going to probably ride this bike for about 20 miles on relatively easy terrain, but we should get some good first impressions. Okay, so right off the bat, the power delivery is quite different, as to be expected. Slightly smaller displacement, a lot more weight. But man, this bike feels really planted. I mean, you can really feel that low center of gravity. I think that's kind of the first thing I noticed on this bike, is if it seems to sit upright quite well. When I sit on it, I don't feel like I'm, you know, tipping back and forth trying to keep it planted. So let's grip it a little bit. Totally stock, other than it's got some graphics and handlebars on it. I am getting a little bit of head shake. I think that's because of the wind. Not totally sure. We'll have to analyze that as we continue to go. So here we go, some kind of silty, sandy. You know, it actually feels a lot more compliant than a regular dirt bike or enduro bike would. In that particular scenario, that felt pretty good. Normally you get really squirmy on those, you know, high performance dirt bikes and the enduro bikes. That felt nice. That bark off the bottom, yeah. So I have not gone quite full throttle yet, and it's not a dog on this bike, but it's, you know, it's not as peppy as my 500, but it also weighs quite a bit more. I think it's probably 80 pounds, I would say, safe, dry weight more. So yeah, once you're all filled up with fuel, it's got 7 gallons capacity, so yeah, you could be 100 plus pounds more. But it's not like it's slow. I mean, if you're coming off of a high performance bike, it's, you know, you're gonna maybe knock it on that a little bit, but it's not like a total pig. For example, I'll use my I had a 2019 CRF 250L, and that bike was slow. This bike still feels a little bit more spunky than that, and it weighs a lot more. So I think that's a pretty fair comparison, because it's not just displacement comparison. This bike is a lot bigger. The gearing spacing feels decent. I'll need to double check the final drive before I give you guys those numbers. Stock, I know that. I just talked to a Kove USA guy, Gary, at the event, and this bike is in the stock form of gearing. And I also need to give a shout out to Mike with Moto Co. This is actually his test bike. He may have purchased this bike, but he let me ride this one. So this is a Taco Moto version. It's stock, but this is Taco Moto's bike. So big thanks to Mike for letting me ride this thing and get an impression of it. Let's drift some corners here. Yeah, it's spunky, man. What is going on, my friends? This is Dustin here and
Sean with Arctic Moto.
We are out here at the Dusty Lizard event at Death Valley, October 2024, and we both were fortunate enough to get the opportunity to ride some new Kove FSE 450 rally bikes. So we just kind of want to give you guys a quick impression on what we think after riding these things for a few miles.
Definitely.
What's the first thing you thought when you jumped on it?
First thing I thought is super nimble for a heavier weight bike, very responsive throttle band, and overall I'm super impressed for my first couple miles.
So I just can't get over this paint job. No, I'm just kidding. This one's got the Taco Moto graphic on it. So if you guys are interested in that, you know who to hit up. But the very first thing that I noticed when I got on this bike was how balanced it felt. It just, you don't feel like the fuel sloshing side to side. And that was kind of something I was concerned with that, 7 gallons. This one's got probably 4 gallons in it right now. And you didn't feel that. It just was very, very stable as soon as you get on it. And very smooth power delivery. The gears seem spaced really well.
Yes,
how'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I think the gears were spaced out fairly well. The one thing that caught me off guard, like I said, was how responsive the motor was, how quick it builds RPM. So even though they're spaced nice together, I felt like I was always wanting to grab another one, which was great because I just kept going faster and faster.
Yeah, I have not gone top speed in it yet because the terrain out here was just not warranting it, but it would pull. You get up, the terrain we're in, I'd get up to about 3/4 throttle and then you'd run out of room. Granted, we're not going down straight roads, and I don't know how fast I was going, but it pulls pretty good considering its power to weight ratio.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Dustin. It's definitely got a good pull to it. Not too unmanageable, just constant power delivery all the way through the power band. It felt really good.
So I'll have to get back to you guys on what the gearing is. It looks like I got a 51 in the back. I need to confirm what the front is. I'm not seeing it too clearly printed on there. It could be a 13 or a 14 possibly. Hard to say. But yeah, overall, I'm thinking this is a pretty cool machine, man.
Yeah.
I should mention I'm coming off of directly today riding my 2024 KTM 500 EXCF. So we're really got like a big difference in bikes there. And this thing is fun. Very planted, very compliant, and the power delivery is smooth and it's bone stock. This is right how they come. This bike's brand new. You're actually breaking it in.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's been amazing. Same ride today, my EXCF, except for 250. It feels really nimble for a larger bike. Suspension just feels really good for this desert riding. Braking was amazing. Never once did I feel like I was overshooting a corner. And even if I was, I just kind of leaned the bike over a bit and it did its thing.
Yeah, I like that about it as well. Because when I was coming to the corners, I was a little bit concerned coming off the lighter bike that I would like overslide too much. And actually I found that was the way to steer it.
Totally.
Was to just lean. And then the bike just slid right through the corner.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Really good. I was a little timid as well, like Dustin said. This one's literally fresh out of the crate. Just arrived here at the Dusty Lizard this afternoon, and I'm fortunate enough to take it for a good brap. Yeah, very cool, man. So I say we need to continue riding these things and develop some more impressions. What do you think? That sounds really good, Dustin.
Let's do it, man.
Awesome. Let's roll.
We'll see you guys. Bit of higher speed stuff there. 96. That's pretty good. $101.
Is that what you're saying?
I got up to 101.
I did 96. I didn't want to go faster.
I wasn't sure if I was actually going 101 because it was a little bit.
Was that all she had?
I might have got 2 or 3 out of it.
That's pretty fucking quick, dude.
I didn't think it was going to go 100.
I've only had this to 115 before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it's, if it was definitely over 90, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'd have to.
Down, you guys were, I was trying to keep up with you guys until I decided to get off of it. I looked down, I was at 96, and you guys were still pulling away.
Wow.
Last I looked was 86, and then I'm like, oh yeah, shit, you're in miles an hour, Sean. You better watch the road.
Yeah, that was 101.
Yeah, I love going fast on dirt, but that's exactly it, man. I start thinking of the consequences.
All right, so getting a little bit of a first impression now. I think the quick answer is this is a pretty cool bike. I know you've got people on both sides of the aisle. You've got those that are just really excited about it, have no qualms, and then you kind of have people who have some sort of reservation against it for, you know, whatever reason. But I think it's, at this point, it's more of a time will tell thing, just like anything as far as durability and, you know, what do you get as far as what you're paying for. But as far as riding it the first time, this is absolutely a great bike. It's not scary fast. It's not, you know, just the craziest monster. Obviously, I still need to do a lot more riding to develop a solid opinion on it. But as far as just hopping on it and going out and cruising some roads, which I think is what a lot of people are going to do on a bike like this, right? You're gonna be just out having just adventures, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be anything that's crazy. You just want to get off the pavement and have fun. My initial impression is this is a great bike to do that. You've got a massive fuel capacity right when you get it. It's ready to go. So that's to me is a huge deal. You don't need to do a bunch of modifications. Just get the bike, make whatever minor adjustments you might need to, tires, grips, things like that, and ride it. Throw a little bit of luggage on the back and do your thing. So yeah, pretty cool. I think I'm just gonna putt up this hill. We kind of went fast on the way in, plus the sun's going down, so I can just pop my visor up and just kind of feel this thing. And I have heard from people that have ridden the bike already that it does well going fast, and actually I'll second that. It does feel pretty good at speed. It feels it's a little bit more stiff and less compliant as I'm putting around here. So, you know, the wheelbase, the weight, however the suspension is set up, that's all lending it to being a bike that likes to move across the desert. Got Sean pacing me back here. He's probably wondering why I'm going so slow.